Hi, I'm Art Caplan. I'm at the Division of Medical Ethics at NYU's Grossman School of Medicine. Incredibly, 25 years ago, Bob Dole, senator from Kansas at the time, and former presidential candidate, went on national television in a commercial and discussed the fact that he was sexually impotent. And you might be thinking, what was happening then? Was this some kind of early Jerry Springer experience or some kind of reality TV gone haywire? No. 25 years ago, this year, Viagra was approved as a treatment. And Bob Dole was recruited by Pfizer, the manufacturer of Viagra, to do commercials in which he discussed his sexual dysfunction. And he was recruited for a very specific set of reasons. First, he was a distinguished, prominent, respected national figure. Second, he was conservative. And for those of you who don't remember, 25 years ago when Viagra first appeared, the company Pfizer was terrified that they would get attacked for promoting promiscuity by introducing a sex pill onto the market. Bob Dole was basically saying, I have a medical problem. It's tough to talk about, but there is a treatment, and I'm going to discuss the fact that I, among many, many, many other men, could use this to help that problem. So he was used in a way to deflect conservative or religious critics who worried about the promotion of sex outside of marriage. Bob Dole was also well known to be married to Elizabeth Dole. This wasn't somebody who was out on the dating market or something. Bob Dole was a family man, and his selection was no accident. And so for all of these reasons, Bob Dole was the first spokesperson for Viagra. Now, as it happens, I had a role to play with this drug. Pfizer called me up and asked me to come and do a consult with them about the ethics of this brand new treatment. And I had never been asked by a drug company to do anything like this. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought about it and said, I'll do it if you let me sit in on discussions and meetings at your New York headquarters about this drug. I want open access. I assume they gave me open access. I went to a lot of meetings where before the FDA approved Viagra, lots of discussions took place about how to roll it out. Once I got there, the one thing I insisted upon was that they had to be treating a disease. They didn't want to get involved in criticisms about this new miracle solution to an age-old problem about sexual dysfunction. Impotence wouldn't do. It wasn't a medical diagnosis, and it was kind of a vague, undefined situation. Erectile dysfunction was the answer. They met with urologists, sex experts, and within the company and came up with the idea that if you were unable to have an erection after trying for 6 months or more, you suffered from erectile dysfunction, and that was the group that they should market Viagra to. And I fully agreed with that. And what happened was literally millions and millions, probably hundreds of millions of men worldwide came forward for the first time and said, I'm ashamed, I'm guilty, I feel stigmatized, but now with something that might help me, I'm going to say to my doctor, I have this problem. It's a very important lesson because 25 years later, it's still difficult for people, men and women, to discuss sexual problems, sexual dysfunction, unhappiness with their sex life. I know we've gotten better at asking about this, but it's still difficult for patients to go into it, bring it up, talk about it. And so it's something that really we have to think hard about. How do we bring forward honest, frank conversation, make people comfortable so they feel they can tell us? One thing that Viagra proved to the world is that not only is there a lot of sexual dysfunction, some numbers as high as 35% of men over 65, but that sexual dysfunction is related to diseases. It's caused by hypertension. It's caused by hardening of the arteries. It's caused by diabetes. It may be caused by psychological anxiety or even just a poor relationship where things are falling apart. So I think it's important that when Viagra first appeared, what Pfizer tried to do and what the marketing oriented around was treating it as a disease, trying to treat erectile dysfunction as a symptom, and then trying to explore the underlying possible causes for that symptom. Sadly, if we look today, we have come a long way, and not always a good way, from where Viagra started. Viagra is easily available online. Many companies say, just get online. A doctor will talk with you for giving you a prescription. And they do, but they don't explore the underlying causes anymore online of what might be causing the erectile dysfunction. They certainly may have a checkbox and sort of ask somebody about this or that, but I've gone and tested the sites and you can get a prescription in about 30 seconds. So we've not really gone with the old medical model that accompanied the appearance of Viagra. We now treat it as a recreational or kind of a aphrodisiac, none of which is true. If your body is working properly, blood will flow where it's going to go, and taking Viagra or any of the other treatments are not going to help improve that or, if you will, enhance that. The other problem I see today with where we are with these impotency, erectile dysfunction type drugs is that we still have not developed a full array of interventions for women. So it's true that men have Viagra, and it's true that that's often reimbursed, but we still have women complaining that they have sexual dysfunction or loss of interest or whatever the problem might be, and we haven't been able to develop drugs that will help them. It's sold over the years since its approval, 25 years ago until the patent ran out in 2019, $40 billion worth of drug. It shifted its advertising so that it's now online and almost on demand. I'm not sure that path has been good, but it is a reminder to us on this 25th anniversary year. People care about sexuality. Doctors always need to be thinking about exploring that in trying to get a vision or a view of the health of their patients. It's still hard for many people to speak up and say if they're having problems in bed, and we want to make sure that we try our best to make that happen. And overall, I think the approval of Viagra 25 years ago was a very good thing. It brought a terrible problem out into the open. It helped enhance the quality of life for many men. And so overall, despite where we are today, I think the introduction of that pill was actually a major achievement in pharmacology. I'm Art Caplan at the Division of Medical Ethics at NYU Grossman. Thanks for watching.